These soft, fluffy pumpkin cookies are an absolute staple in my household during the fall. My name's Alyssa Brittingham, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to make them. The first thing you want to do is put your hair back if it's long, and then wash your hands, for hygiene reasons, obviously. For this recipe, you're going to need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking powder, baking soda, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, pumpkin pie filling, butter, salt, powdered sugar, eggs, and milk. The next step is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Then you can either grease or line a baking sheet. I'm using parchment paper just because I think it's easier without having to do the grease, and it works the same, and it's easier to clean up. Another thing I like to do with the parchment paper is fold down the excess, that way it's not a fire hazard. After everything's prepped, we can add our dry ingredients, which is 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and then half a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to mix all of this together. And this is what it looks like when it's all combined. We're going to put our dry mixture to the side, and in a large bowl, we're going to add 1.5 cups of sugar with half a cup or 1 stick of butter. And we're just going to cream that together. Once that mixture is combined, this is what it should look like. At this stage, we're going to add in 1 cup of pumpkin puree. To this, we're also going to add in 1 egg, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Once we've added those ingredients, we're going to go ahead and beat these until it's smooth. Once that mixture is completely smooth, we're going to take our dry ingredients that we had earlier and add them in little by little just so we make sure that everything's fully incorporated. As you can see, some of the flour is not getting evenly incorporated, so I like to go in with a spatula and just kind of fold it in and make sure the mixture is combined fully. Once I was happy with that mixture, I'm going to keep adding in my flour. And then with the mixer, I always like to start it off on a slow speed when I have dry ingredients in there, just so that the powder doesn't fly away and make a mess. And then I gradually increase the speed of the mixer once everything is incorporating. This whole process is pretty obvious, but here I am again going in with my spatula, just so I can get those dry ingredients mixed in more. Once you've added in the rest of your dry ingredients, this is about the texture that it should look like. It's going to be very thick and more like the texture of actual cookie dough. At this point, you're ready to start placing your cookie dough onto a baking sheet. You want to scoop it off in rounded tablespoons. I'm using a cookie dough scooper, which is about a tablespoon. Here I am struggling with it. If you don't have a cookie dough scooper, using a regular tablespoon is perfectly fine. Just want to scoop it and then with clean fingers, wipe it off. Once your dough is all scooped out and your oven is preheated, you're going to go ahead and put this into the oven. These are going to bake for about 15 to 18 minutes. While those are in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and sift my 2 cups of powdered sugar. My sifter is not the best, so this took me a little while. Once the 15 minutes are up, I'm taking them out, making sure that the edges are firm because that's how I know if it's fully cooked or not. Once we take those out, we're going to let them sit for 2 minutes to cool. After these 2 minutes, I'm picking them up with a spatula and putting them onto a wire rack. Now while my other batch is in the oven and that batch was cooling, I'm going to go ahead and start on my icing. I'm adding 2 cups of sifted powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of softened butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. My camera cut out for that part. And we're just going to mix it together until it's a consistency that you like. And I put a parchment paper sheet underneath the wire rack so that when I'm drizzling the icing on, it catches the excess so I don't make a mess. You're going to let these sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until the icing is set, and after that, you have these perfect soft, fluffy pumpkin cookies.